Hey there. So in this video I wanted to share where I grew up and how beautiful it is. And I noticed on YouTube that there a while back, or maybe still going on, there were some tornadoes. But what was it like growing up where I live and the tornadoes that came 2011 to East Tennessee? It would be Southwest Virginia, Glade Spring area. Um, At the time of the 2011 tornadoes, I was living in Abingdon, Virginia, which is literally 20 minutes from Glade Springs, where the EF3 hit. Um, by the time it hit Abingdon before there, and I'd venture to say by the time it was over top of my house, it was either the start of EF3 or it was on its way very quickly, rapidly. Um, but where I grew up, I was born in Elizabethton, Tennessee. Very small, mountainous town. The mountains are beautiful. Um, but I grew up in Marion, Virginia, Abingdon, Virginia. That's Southwest Virginia. Appalachian Mountains, Blue Ridge Mountains, all that. It's a very beautiful place to live. Fishing there is amazing. There's something majestic that I don't get here in Florida. I haven't been to the Everglades yet, and that's a goal of mine to actually see nature here in its purest form. But there's something majestic being back in the mountains that I don't get here, or yet. But when all those tornadoes broke out, it was nighttime, and we knew they were breaking out everywhere watching the news. In my house, sometimes we'd open the windows and the doors, but this night we had one door and some windows open, and you could feel like the wind pick up. And there's like a breathing that goes on in your house when you have the windows and the door open. They'll just suck all the air out of the room, like, and then bring it back. So we were kind of going out on my deck, and you could see, normally in the evenings, you could see the horizon, the sun go down. Perfect spot. Because it went from a hill, and then you had the sun going down over the hill. And you could see there was it was like 7, I don't know, man. It wasn't totally dark, but you could see where there was a little bit of light for a little while. And you could see the clouds where they were thick, and then where the sun would usually sunset, it was totally bare of anything. But what went on before, I kind of noticed that I have to describe is the lightning. Crazy. It was continuous. And the bolts of lightning were going up, sideways, down. But the lightning never shut off. And that's what gets you worried, is you ain't got to be scared of the thunder. But there really wasn't a lot of thunder because it just didn't have time. It just kept lightning. Or there's so much heat in the atmosphere, I don't really know, but it didn't thunder a terrible lot. It was just constant lightning, which was freaky. I seen green lightning. I don't know if it hit a transformer over the hill where we live, but I think there is, fact check me on that, but there is different colored lightning. I did hear a couple of transformers pop. But so we noticed the horizon, we noticed the lightning, we noticed the clouds, we could feel the suction in there, and all of a sudden I'm in the living room. I go back in the living room, my buddy comes running through there like he'd seen something, which I don't think he's seen a tornado. He never really said, but I mean, it was pretty much dark. But he was kind of keeping an eye on the wind pressure, and behind him the door just slammed behind him, shook the whole house. And that's when we kind of got freaked out when it slammed the door. We all went downstairs. I lived in it's it's a 2-story house, but half of it was underground, if that makes sense. The back of the house was 2 stories. The front of the house goes down to ground level. So we're in the basement part of the basement that's underground. Because if you walk to the door to get out of the basement, you're on normal ground. But if you go kind of back into the basement a little bit, where the living room part is, you're totally underground. That's where we went. All of a sudden, we hear this thud. I mean, you think the house is, coming off the foundation, or something, but you could feel the ground, because where we was underground, there's a huge maple tree out in the front yard, and it kind of went up into a split, and you could see kind of like this one. Imagine that's 50 feet, 40 feet up, that split like that. But there is a slight rotten spot, but the tree's still super strong. It would take a force like an EF.3 to split it on in half. But that's what it did. That's what we heard. The ground shook where we was at, the whole basement. And that was freaky. And then we felt the thud, and we waited a little bit, maybe 20-30 minutes, because you could still hear what was going on outside. Once it stopped, I remember turning on the light and looking outside, and you could see the whole tree. I thought the whole tree was down. But what had happened, where it had that little rotten spot at the top, wind could get down in it, but it still was a super strong maple tree. It split it. And it ended up costing my parents like $5,000 for them to chop it up and dispose of it. Which later on I would have probably gave the wood away, chopped it up. But they had the money, so they got rid of it. But here's where the freaky part happens. So it's probably about a week later, we take a ride, and mind you that we had heard that it had flipped tractor and trailer, the boxes, not the motor part. The F3, it'll turn the boxes, the lighter part, even though it's super heavy, over. It blew a bunch of those over at a truck stop. And we're going down back to the mountains. Now, Glade Springs not got no super big mountains, but it's woodlands, and it's got some hills, man. What I call hills, other people call mountains, but it's just like hills to me. And you could see where the thing weaved in a direct path, but it kind of S-ed, and it just thick trees like if you see just half of this tree, if you could mount it all the way up, it was twisting him. It was blowing all the little stuff over. It looked like somebody had drove a bulldozer through there at like a high speed all the way back through there, and you could see the path it took, where downshift winds hit some places. But yeah, it killed a few people, and it ripped some roofs off, and lifted a mobile home. But my hat's off to anybody that's been in EF5, 4, and 3. Like EF5 and 4 would be total devastation. I mean, that's insane. And EF3 will take you out if you're not in a secured place, for sure. But I just wanted to document this after seeing the tornado things, that I've been through a rare occurrence in East Tennessee and Southwest Virginia, the tornadoes in 2011. And just don't ever underestimate it. And now here in Florida, we gotta worry about hurricanes every year and stuff like that. But I just wanted to document that freak occurrence. Y'all stay blessed, and if anybody sees this, hit me in the comments. Let me know if you've ever been in a tornado. Thank you.